video. This is actually my girlfriend's bike. I've got 250L. This is her 300L. We've done loads of work to it, so I was going to update people on what I reckon they should do to actually make this a good off-roader. Obviously the suspension sucks, everyone knows that. So we recently put in a YSS shock at the back, and I think it's K-Tech at the front, and it's improved the bike massively. It rides like my 250L, which is an older one. It turns better. I mean, when you're off-roading, you lose the front all the time on the old suspension because it's so soft and it returns so slowly. By the time the next bump comes off, you sort of lost the front and you're dropping it. So what we've done is changed the suspension. I've done the preload for her as well on the back, which has sort of brought the back down a little bit because it's sort of on its nose. Obviously a lithium battery in there to get rid of the weight. Made the number plate cover. What else have we done? Little mirrors, just getting all the weight off the top because the front end is quite heavy. It feels a lot better. The lightest, cheapest plastic guards again. We had some metal ones, but if you just get rid of as much weight as possible, it feels so much better off-road. LED bulb. What else have we done? Obviously changed the tyres, still standard tubes in there. Also the big thing that I've done, and I've just taken that for a ride, is this is an ABS model, and there's a button to obviously switch the rear ABS off. And I didn't realise it was just for the rear. Till I changed the suspension, and you're going along and sort of, when you see something you want to avoid, you sort of brake and then you turn, and you know, on my 250 it has no ABS, it's fine, but on this it sort of washes out, and I'd never really realised why. And obviously the ABS at the front is still on, so I've just pulled the fuse out, which on the, you know, on the side, which almost hints at Honda want you to take the fuse out. Took the fuse out, and the bike brakes into corners better, because all the time when you're braking at the front end and it's slipping on this mud and stones and grit, it's turning, so you'll come up to a rut and you might brake and then want to turn and get out of there, and the wheel's still moving, so it unloads the front suspension, which makes it feel really soggy. But just pulling that fuse out has transformed its handling. So if you have got ABS model, I wouldn't just press that button to stop the rear. Just take the fuse out, it deactivates front and back, and it feels more like an enduro bike. I mean, obviously there's a safety aspect, but that's up to you. But it makes such a difference off-road, which, you know, mostly we ride this bike off-road and 20% on-road, mainly to get to the byways and whatnot. Other little bits obviously we've done is bar risers, which you need because where it's putting your body's in the wrong place. Some Protec handlebars, stubby levers in case you break it because these flex. I think other than that she's not done a lot, but oh, a big must is these sleeves, because the grit gets into this suspension and it makes it weep and leak. So that's another big one. When they did the front, it's only replaced the spring, one spring at the front, and then they give you a different weight oil for this side. I had just a little bit more than they suggested, and that's improved the dampening for me. I think that was only in England about £90, and the rear shock's around the £400 mark. But for that extra 500 quid, it has transformed the bike. So if you're looking to make your 300L as good off-road as it is, I mean, it's improved the on-road handling as well, because you go around a corner and when you brake into the corner it will load the front, and as you're riding around the corner you can unload it again, rather than this seesawing soggy ride which it was giving you before, which is the reason why I didn't get a 300L and I kept my 250s, because the ride wasn't as good. The engine is so much more powerful in the fact that it's got loads more torque, so you can sort of fly off a rut and get the front end up now, and obviously the suspension not squatting has helped that. You can pump the front suspension and get it up, so it's made it an almost perfect dual sport, but you know, without spending loads of money. I mean, you could do the exhaust, might do the exhaust when you can find a quiet enough one, just to get, I think that's about 5 kilos, but other than that, £5 for the bike, another £5 on suspension and little bits and pieces, and you've got a really good, reliable bike. Cheers.